I'm talking today with Tanya Lush, who is from COVE. Let people know about COVE.
Sure. So we've been in existence since 2018, and really the bread and butter of our work is ocean technology and marine technology. We are really an innovation hub and a technology center that supports a little more than 60 companies within our community. So though COVE itself is its own entity, we also work within an ecosystem of 60 partner companies.
Today we're specifically talking about employment in the sector and how to maintain the people that the businesses have employed. So the backstory for us, Tanya, is that we did research at Oceanology International in London back in March. And we surveyed our exhibitors to find out what their pain points were. And, there were pain points around supply, getting the chips and what have you. But from a human resources point of view, we've got big plans to grow our business. But we're struggling to find the right people. And then when we do find the right people, how do we keep hold of them?
So here in Canada in particular, and I would assume it could be very applicable to many parts of the world, we're really looking at a more inclusive recruitment campaign and focusing on broadening our scope with regards to outreach and connecting with different communities and what we would call more diverse applicant populations. So traditionally, we know that, and this is an HR stat, that the majority of the people in our sector are actually middle-aged white men. So what we need to do is become better at encouraging more diverse groups to apply. So in Canada, we're looking at the Indigenous community, the Black community, and certainly women. So again, because they're typically underrepresented in our sector. So we're focusing more on more inclusive, more diverse hiring. That's one important thing. And another thing that we like to talk about is just really putting it out there about work-life balance and actually work-life integration. So we know now from, again, a people leadership perspective that people want to blend their life and work together. They want more flexibility, and they want to be able to work from home or, work hybrid. So we're putting that also in our recruitment campaigns and in our JDs when we're putting it out to professionals to apply. So I'll parlay that to a retention point or two, as you mentioned. So again, when people get on board, they want to feel that they're part of the team, and they're able to bring them their whole self. Retention around basically people saying we really want to feel included and we want to be seen. So bringing them their whole selves to work. Again, I'm very cognizant that once upon a time, I'm more than 25 years in my career, you separated life and work very much. And now the younger generation, particularly the millennials, the under 35s, they are like, no, this is who I am. Whatever my, scope of activity is, and I want to integrate that into my life. So if I want to go to the gym in the morning, for example, and flex my time, are you as a employer going to help me do that? So these are the kind of conversations we're actually having in the workplace now with the generational variance, right? Another retention thing I want to bring up is people especially again younger generations, they're not as concerned about money as they used to be. They like the perks. Again, it's about the perks and certainly as well around is your company sustainable? So social issues like they want to buy into your company around your social messages. Are you environmentally conscious? Are you inclusive? So again, a whole new generation of workforce coming in that are more thoughtful around the social context and want to see that embedded and infiltrated into the workplace.
I mean, it's interesting. You spend the best hours of a day at work. That 9 to 5, whatever that might look like. So that needs to, as you say, blend and dovetail with your real life in order for the two to coexist nicely together. So, what are they? The soft benefits? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. I guess soft benefits would be a really great. Yeah, that's a great term. I haven't heard that one actually before. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, good. So, Tanya, we wrote an article recently, and it's up on our blog site, that the US offshore wind sector is looking to generate 40 gigawatts of energy. That's a huge amount of energy. So currently they're in the 30 gigawatts area. But in order to move on to generating 40 watts, they're going to have to employ a good number of people. So it's just some guiding thoughts on where are those folk going to come from?
Interesting, you should ask this question. I actually spoke on a panel yesterday at the Canadian Marine Renewables Conference on this exact subject. Canada is still very early stages. For example, in offshore wind, we have announced that Nova Scotia and Newfoundland will be going after major projects in the next 7 to 10 years. So this is high on our radar list as well, but we are looking to our neighbors to the south, certainly, for a model that is a little more ahead of ours, not as far ahead as Europe, say Germany or Denmark, for example, in workforce development and just offshore wind projects in general. But I can tell you what we've said here in Canada, and it's exactly what you mentioned. Those exact points was we will be looking at pivoting folks who are currently in other sectors, for example, oil and gas here on the east coast of Canada, or even land-based oil and gas. There's a lot of skilled workers who really have been pushed out, let go. There's been a downturn. So we can take those people and we can reskill them and retrain them. And that's part of the conversation that I'm having now with other workforce development people, as well as you mentioned, some of them are still in school. So our projection for Canada is, like I said, 7 to 10 years. So we're in a little bit of a better place. But as you know, time goes very quickly. So we know that 7 to 10 years can pass very fast. In the meantime, they're in university, for example, so we will get them educated. They will be prepared in the next 4 to 5 years. So then they'll come out, they'll have a few years work experience, and they will be ready then to join that particular sector, the offshore wind projects, because they would have gone through their education and had a little bit of solid work experience, and they will enter the market as early career professionals.
So in the UK, we have things called apprenticeships, and people come from sixth form colleges, secondary schools, and universities, and have an apprenticeship, get on the job training, and be paid as well. And that's gently ramping up in the UK. It used to be quite an old-fashioned thing, but now it's coming back into vogue again. Is that something that the North American market is doing at the moment?
100%. The apprenticeship model in North America is very old, and it's one of the very first, what we would call work integrated learning experiences that were offered 40, 50 years ago for young people to come and train under a more experienced master tradesperson or master professional in whatever expertise they have. So basically, they learn and go to school at the same time. They go to school and do their work integrated learning. So their work experience at the same time. It's concurrent. So that's the apprenticeship model, very popular here, particularly in the trade sector and more technical careers. Now, a model that's very popular in Canada for higher level education. So I'll say post-secondary, undergraduate degrees in Canada, say 4 to 6 years, and master's degrees is what we call the internship or the co-op model, which again allows young people to go through their degree but have parts or semesters of their learning time taken for work. So they go out for 4 months and they work and they do an internship and they're embedded in a company for, say 16 weeks, and they're working on an engineering project. So COVE actually sponsors and supports a very robust internship program. Last summer, we had 35 young people with 20 companies. So we facilitated all of that. And again, the ROI, we see it very, very close, because most of those young people will be out in the workforce within 3 to 4 years. So that's a really great investment for us. And we see a great turnaround, and we see them come once they graduate. We do see them coming back into the sector.
So you're actually starting to close that 7 to 10 year gap by bringing them in, ostensibly 4 or 5 years early.
Yeah, that's right.
And then are businesses incentivized in Canada, North America to take these interns and these apprentices on?
They are. So we work very closely with a number of funding partners. The incentive is reduced salary output. So essentially, we go after government funding and partnership funding, and we pay for 75%. We meaning COVE, because we have the funding partners behind us. We pay for 75% of the salaries of the young people, and then the company only has to find 25%, which is really just pennies when you look at an entire 16-week summer experience. And a company here in Canada is paying $3,000 or $4,000 for the entire summer for a young person to really work hard and contribute to the project. That's a deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a great deal, isn't it? Okay, so let's flip this round the other way now, Tanya. If I'm a person looking to get into the sector, then what should I be doing?
Well, I mean, again, we're an exemplary model. COVE is offering a number of programs and projects that allow young people to explore our sector. Everything from one-day experiences to, as I said, 16-week internship opportunities. So that's what we're encouraging from a COVE perspective, is really getting out, engaging with industry, doing your networking, getting a mentor, taking work integrated learning opportunities and internships. With regards to more senior professionals, we're also saying, lean on your allies who are in the sector, talk about opportunities, lean on your network, and again, look at reskilling and look at different credentials that you can take to see how you can shift over or transition into our sector with what you already have, but then again, bolstering it with some new learning.
So, are you noticing any trends in your space as well? Are employers looking for more scientists, engineers, oil and gas engineers? Is there anything that you're seeing growing above other kind of job specs?
100%. So for our sector, particularly the ocean tech sector, and I would suggest it is going to be for marine renewables as well. Everybody wants data. Everybody wants wants workforce that understands data, can collect data, tell a story with data, and really just use it to bolster business case, for example, or solve issues, or really just just simplistically in everyday work, being able to maneuver the data so that they can do their work better. For example, project management is a huge one as well. Workforce development folks are saying now, we want everyone to have a PMP training, or at least a PMP project management 101 course. So from a marketing person to a finance person to, an HR person, the workforce development folks are saying that project management is a major sought after skill now. So And the last trend I'd like to mention is business acumen and, understanding business strategy. So a lot of people forget that though we're Ocean Tech, we have a vast variety of careers in Ocean Tech companies. Again, finance people, HR people, marketing people, like there's so many different careers. It's not necessarily technical. So everybody should have some sense of business acumen, understanding of building strategy for your particular little corner of the business. Again, I'm a marketing person in an ocean technology company. What's my strategy, to help grow this company from my little corner of the office, we'll say.
It's been fantastic to have a chat with you. I'll thank you for your time, and I do hope we get to speak again in the future. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you so much. Great having this conversation.